Welcome to How to Play Ambient Guitar, Episode 12. If you haven't already done so, you might want to check the rest of the series out here when you get a chance. On today's video, we're going to be looking at alternate tunings, specifically two of my favorite alternate tunings that I use with both acoustic and ambient guitars. Let's get to work. All right, what I'd like to do first is just briefly review my signal chain, just so you know what's going on. This is my Carvin HF2 guitar, and from the guitar I'm going directly into a Wampler Ego Compressor. From the Wampler Ego, I'm going into my 11-rack amp modeling unit, which you can't see on screen. I'm taking the effects send and running it into my Morley little Alligator volume pedal. From the volume pedal, the signal goes directly into my Strymon DIG dual digital delay, and then that goes right back into the effects return of the 11-rack. I've got the 11-rack set up to a Fender amp model, and here's what the relatively unaffected sound sounds like. Just threw a little reverb on there for grins, and the compressor's kicked in. All right, so let's get down to tunings. First review of standard tuning: E, A, D, G, B, E. We all know this, right? Okay. Let's move right into some alternate tunings. The first one I'd like to review is a very popular alternate tuning that's used for Celtic-style guitar. Likely many of you have either heard this or used it, maybe with acoustic guitar. It is DADGAD, that's DADGAD for short. Very easy to get DADGAD. Let me move the guitar here so you can see it in the screen. I'm just going to take the 6th string, move it down to a D. Okay, the B string, string number 2, I'm going to move down to an A. And then the high E string will become a D. Let me just play the open strings, intervals. All right, that's what it sounds like. Again, you may have already used this one. It's a pretty common alternate tuning, maybe the most common, and it's really good for ambient guitar. One of the things I like about it is that if you're hanging out in the key of D, you can pretty much play a D in root position. All you have to do is, instead of your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, put that 3rd finger on the 5th fret, and you've got a standard D. Or you can simply put your 3rd or 2nd finger on the G string on the 2nd fret, and that becomes an open D. One of the things I like about this tuning, again, if you're hanging out in D, is that you can very easily play melodies over top of the low D. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to go ahead and throw some delay on, since this is an ambient guitar YouTube channel, and let's check it out. right, that's pretty nice. Again, that's DADGAD. So let's take it one step further. This is my second favorite tuning. If you're in DADGAD, like I am right now, all you have to do is take what is now the low D and take that down a whole tone, in other words, 2 more frets, down to a C. So let me do that. Okay, and then you're going to take that 5th string, which is currently A, and you're going to move that down to G. Okay, so this becomes then CGDGAD, and I don't know how to pronounce that. CGDGAD. And it's great for playing in the key of G. It's also good for playing in the key of C, and even occasionally the key of D, if you don't mind kind of fretting that low C, on the 2nd fret. But there's some nice things you can do with it. Let me show you here just in the key of G. So the G major now becomes 3rd string, 2nd fret, 2nd string, 2nd fret. And a C, becomes the 4th string on the 2nd fret and the 2nd string on the 3rd fret. So lots of nice things you can do there. Let me go ahead and play around with this a little bit. All right, I actually really like that a lot. In my acoustic guitar playing, I actually leave one of my acoustic guitars tuned to C, G, D, G, A, D almost all the time, so I can just kind of pick it up and go with it. All right, so why would you use either one of these alternate tunings? Well, one thing is it gives you a nice low note that you don't get with standard tuning. So I can either go for a low C in this case, or in DADGAD I can go for a low D. You can also take advantage of the kind of the fifths, the tuning of the fifths here, especially in CGD, for wider interval chords. So you can do that with the standard tuning. Obviously, you can't get a low C. You can do wider intervals, but it's easier if your strings are tuned a fifth apart. DADGAD also has that fifth between the low D and then the A string. So that's really nice. One of the things you do lose, I feel, is the ability to play kind of your standard, lead guitar kind of lines. with the wider intervals down below, and then in some cases the very small interval between the G and the A. I think it makes it a little less amenable to complex lead playing. I do think standard tuning is a little bit better for that. Now, don't get me wrong, you can play lead guitar with either one of these tunings. It's just not as lead friendly, if you will. Anyhow, that's just a quick look at two of my favorite tunings. There are tons and tons of more tunings than you can shake a stick at that you may want to try to see if you can find some that really suit your music and your style of playing. What I'll do is include some links in the video description below. So if you never check out the description below, go ahead and check it out. I'll include some links to different sites that have chord charts for DADGAD, for CGDGAD, and then sites that just have general information about alternate tunings. Well, there you have it. Two alternate tunings that are pretty flexible that you can use for both acoustic and ambient guitar playing. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. I've got ambient guitar related content coming every single week. And as always, I'll see all of you on the next video.